All right. Gang, I am now recording. All right. Thank you all very much for coming. Basically, this presentation is all about how to make healthier choices now that you've finished New Year, New You. All right. So congratulations to all of you. That's one of my favorite pictures ever from, I think, the Labor Day workout. But you all just busted your butts for 6 weeks straight. And a lot of people, after they finish challenges like this, they kind of fall off and they go back to their old ways. And that kind of doesn't really accomplish anything. So I just want to give you guys some tips on how to maintain healthy diet all throughout the year. So I have 10 main tips. So number one is to try to stick to a similar meal plan that we did in New Year, New You. Oh, Liz is in the way. Awesome. Okay. So I understand that following this to a T is probably not realistic because I know you all have kids and busy jobs and stuff like that. But we did give you a meal plan that gives you tons of variety in terms of eating proteins and fats and carbs and everything you really need to stay healthy and active. So I do recommend, reusing some of the recipes, obviously tailoring them a little bit based on what you like and your schedule. But here are 4 big things that you really should avoid. So number one is oils, and I have a slide after this to just talk about what specific oils are better. Salt, obviously, sodium can cause a lot of health issues. Butter adds a ton of excess calories and fat, and it does contain certain nutrients, but obviously, you just have to monitor how much you add. And number one, definitely measure how much you're putting on for dressings and other toppings because you could be eating something as healthy as a salad, but go way overboard, and yeah, it's not what you want. So we did a little bit of carb cycling. Oh, hey, Danielle, what's up? We did some carb cycling, I think in the 3rd phase, I believe. And you can't really do this for a long-term basis, especially if you guys are as active as you are. But occasionally doing some kind of a carb cycle is a good way to kickstart the metabolism, which is why we did it in the first place. Ooh. So, oils. This is a question that people ask me all the time, actually. Um, it's good to cook with oils because you need healthy fats, but you got to be smart about it. So, a lot of oils are really high in saturated fat, which raises the risk for cardiovascular disease, which is one of the leading causes of death in America because of our Western diet. So, a better way to reduce that is to have polyunsaturated fat, and that reduces the risk of cholesterol and other artery clogging diseases. So, palm oil, coconut oil, and palm kernel oil are highest in saturated fatty acids, so you want to avoid those if possible. And the coconut oil one actually surprises a lot of people because it's marketed as like a superfood because it's coconut, but it actually contains 85% more saturated fat than other oils. I got that straight from my textbook. I'm not bullshitting any of these stats. This is all from like real sources that I trust. But yeah. And in terms of better oil, so polyunsaturated fats, you got your canola oil, flax oil, soybean, peanut oil, safflower oil, and avocado oil. I use avocado oil personally. But like I just said, make sure you measure it for sure. Ha ha ha!
Nice.
Nice. I thought you would appreciate this. So tip number 2, people don't really know how to control their supplements, and they think that just eating a buttload of protein all the time is going to make them look like Arnold. But in reality, if you go way overboard on the protein, it's just going to get stored, and we all know what that leads to. Always keep in mind supplements are supplementary, so they should not be replacing your actual food. They're mainly intended for if you have a deficiency in something, otherwise, they're really just not necessary. Um, Side note, Silva is shredded though, straight up. All right. So here's some supplements that might benefit you, but of course they're supplementary and you still gotta have a well-rounded diet. So whey protein is really good for after workouts because it's the quickest digested protein. So obviously helps your muscles recover quicker and just a good source of protein when you're on the go. There's also casein. Now they're both dairy based, so hopefully you can handle dairy. Um, There are a ton of studies recently that show having casein before bed increases muscle protein synthesis. So actually, I've been having it before bed. I put it in my
Oh,
Greek yogurt. It's a beautiful snack. I think Boss Man does that too. But casein before bed, whey protein after workouts, just because they're digested at different rates. Now, there's also creatine, which is the most studied supplement on the market, and it's proven to be one of the safest supplements on the market as well. And I take that too. Obviously, if it was um, not legal, I couldn't have it because my drug tests are so rigorous. But not everybody needs creatine, so it all depends on your goals. So if you're really trying to put on um, strength, then creatine is great. So basically, all it does is it increases your ability to make energy. Creatine is produced in your body naturally, but if you're doing like high intensity movement, like heavy weights, creatine just helps you build ATP, which is what fuels our body. It's just our energy source for the body. Collagen might be helpful too for skin, hair, stuff like that if you're deficient. Omega 3s, I know we had you do that near you, really good for heart health. And the Western diet typically lacks omega 3s to begin with, so that's definitely not bad to supplement. But the biggest thing, anything that you are strictly deficient in, it doesn't help to just buy a bunch of supplements because you think, ooh, this is going to help me. Make sure it's something that you actually need before you buy it. And these are things you need to avoid. So you've probably heard that proprietary blends are not good. This is because manufacturers are not required to put what's actually in the proprietary blends. So they could put a bunch of crap in it and get away with it. So to be safe, especially when you're looking at protein, if it's got NSF, USP, or GMP labels on it, that means it is safe and it has been tested through a third party. Avoid buying supplements just because they're on sale. It's probably a reason it's on sale. I bought protein at Walmart a couple weeks ago. It was $5 and it made me really sick. So don't do that. And then excessive intake of vitamins and minerals. So if you go way overboard, it can wreak havoc on your body. And actually, the vitamins and minerals can interact with each other in the food that you eat. So one example that I actually just learned about yesterday in one of my classes is that if you go way overboard on the calcium, it can impact your iron absorption, and anemia is a big problem to begin with. So don't have extra calcium, especially if you already eat tons of dairy that has calcium. Tip number 3, it's self-explanatory. You guys had to throw away all your junk food in the house because New Year, new you. So just be careful of what you buy at the store. And just because the kiddos or other people in your house are snacking on the Oreos doesn't mean you have to. But obviously, everything in moderation. And that leads me to my next one. Strive for progress, not perfection. You might notice there's a piece of broccoli in the slideshow. I might be covering somebody up, but you know, broccoli makes you feel good about yourself. So, but yeah, that night at Trillium, people were treating themselves, people were drinking, people were having fun, and that's totally okay. Sorry, what was that? So, eating in moderation, good, and drinking in moderation prevents you from binging on later in the day. That's proven fact. So, I recommend the 90-10 rule. You can even do 80-20, whereas you stay on your diet 80 to 90% of the time. Treat yourself 10 to 20% of the time. You all look so beautiful in that picture, by the way. Parks and Rec reference. Anybody seen that show? It's my favorite. Their mantra is treat yourself. So I recommend that show, by the way. Tip number 5, do not believe everything you see on social media. It's everywhere now. Influencers will do anything just to get attention and followers, and it's bad, especially TikTok. TikTok nutrition influencers are the worst. So just make sure you're getting information from reliable sources and checking often. So here's my next slide about my favorite sources. So the USDA actually is awesome. There's nutrient calculators that tells you what you need of your macronutrients, so your protein, fat, carbs every day, and your vitamins and minerals. So if you're somebody that really wants to be on track with how much you're eating, I recommend that calculator. It also gives you fact sheets about what each of them do and how you should alter it based on your lifestyle. Tim DeLeo, obviously, great guy, affiliated with us, kind of. Jenny Hanway herself. Dr. Ids, that guy in the bottom right corner, he's on the gram. He basically just debunks a bunch of TikTokers and other influencers that are making all these false claims. And he's a registered dietitian, so love his stuff. Precision Nutrition is great. I'll show you a graphic in the next slide, and textbooks. So all of this just came from like my brain and what I've learned throughout the years, but everything has been fact checked by textbooks. So just a great source to have. So Liz Burgess actually reached out to me during the challenge about how much of each that she should be eating. So I referred her to this little graphic right here. Now it uses your hands to show you how much of each macronutrient, so protein, fat, carbs, you should be eating, and vegetables at every single meal. So it's different for men and women, and also how frequently you eat, your body size, your caloric needs, results. So if you're not showing results in the gym, maybe you need to alter it a little bit, and just how often you get hungry. So again, I would be happy to just share this with you guys in the chat or just show you the whole PowerPoint, but this has been a really helpful tool that I've shown to people. So you'll notice fat is obviously the smallest because it's most calorically dense. It's got 9 calories per gram. Carbs should make up the majority. I eat just as much veggies, if not more. And then, yeah, there you go. Proteins based on palms. Do you have any? Oh, this is a good one. Do you have any questions so far?
Yeah, quick question, Kelsey. So in terms of looking at food consumption and calories, is FitnessPal good as well, or would you just
Yeah,
recommend
that's
the
a
US?
good question. So MyFitnessPal is a really good thing to use. It's free and it's super readily available. The one thing about it is if you're like concerned with different vitamins and minerals, it might not show you all of it of what's in your food.
Yeah.
So there's this other application called, oh man, what's it called? Darn, my food. I will look into it, but I used it for a grad school project and it's great. But like I said, the USDA like calculator you can also use to find vitamins and minerals. But short answer, MyFitnessPal is really good. And you can adjust it like based on your goals and stuff too. All right. Tip number 6 is reward yourself for the little victories. So I have my friend Joanna over there on the right, and she's been working really, really hard on an unassisted chin up, and I'm super proud of her. So she's gotten a couple, and that's a win for her. So we're gonna celebrate it. You'll notice me on the left. That's like an actual real life footage of me 2 weeks ago when I squatted a weight and it felt harder than it should have. So I was like, oops. But then I took a step back and I was like, you know what? I still hit it. And it wasn't as bad as I thought. So I just take it as a win and move on. So don't be so fixated on the number on the scale. Focus on your PRs, like I just said, how you're feeling throughout the day, your energy levels, and how your clothes are fitting. So I know a lot of you mentioned like your clothes fitting different after starting Velocity and the challenge and all that. And one of my biggest tips, focus on one thing at a time until it just becomes routine. So like focus on water one week, focus on, vegetables one week, and yeah. Tip number 7 is don't crash diet. So what we did wasn't considered a crash diet, it was just a little reset. But all these like popular crash diets are just not sustainable and they can really like wreck your metabolism, and a lot of people just gain weight when they get off it anyway. So intermittent fasting it definitely works for some people if they're less active and based on what their goals are, but if you go to Velocity as often as you do, I just really don't recommend it because your energy levels, especially when you work out, are not going to be good. There's a keto diet, which basically eliminates carbs. Atkins and keto are very similar. And then your body has to burn fat for energy, which like sounds super appealing, but in the grand scheme of things, it does a lot for you and you really need carbs. So my next slides talk about just how important carbs are. So, and finally, people get super hyped about like gluten-free and vegan. Um, but a lot of those foods can contain a lot of fillers. You might become deficient in certain vitamins and minerals, and especially protein if you're going vegan. So I don't recommend that unless you actually have an allergy. So just really quick differentiating, there's complex carbs and there's simple carbs. Complex carbs are what actually stabilize our blood sugar. They contain a lot of nutrients. They help our brain, so you need carbs in order to like do your work and do your workouts and stuff. Whole grains, sweet potatoes, oats, brown rice, quinoa, and even beans are all complex. And then there's the simple carbs, which make your blood sugar crash. They're empty calories, so they give you a lot of calories, but not a lot of nutrients. This causes you to overeat because you just feel hungry all the time. And other health issues, so that's donuts, candy, soda, bread, all of that stuff. So this is some dunks in the background right there. All right, and this again comes straight from my textbook because all this is for real. So just as a general guideline for like how much of each nutrient should make up your daily calories, about 45 to 65% carbs. So it just shows you like it's super important. 10 to 35% of protein. And again, that can be higher depending on what your goals are. If you're in a caloric deficit, you probably want to increase the protein a little bit more. So that can help you lose weight but still preserve muscle mass. And then 20 to 35% fat, which a lot of people might find surprising. And if you are injured or ill, you need more protein and probably more calories overall, which very important to heal. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Tip number 8.
Dave.
A lot of people probably won't want to hear this one, but you got to drink responsibly. I did a whole unit on it, and alcohol. Oop, Danielle's in the waiting room again. What's up, Danielle? I've got McGillicuddy's on the screen. So alcohol at 7 calories per gram. That's 3 more than protein and carbs. They have 4 calories per gram. And if you have mixed drinks or higher alcohol beverages, that's just going to load up the calories even more. There is no nutritional value to alcohol whatsoever. So it's more of like something to kind of have on the side. It impairs your inhibition, which can make you eat poorly throughout the day. Again, from a textbook. Is that a dog barking?
That's Chloe, stop.
Well, hey, Chloe, what's up? Chronic drinking has been linked to over 200 health conditions. And one thing that's really important, sometimes you hear people say, oh, I'm just going to eat less throughout the day so I can drink more and not gain weight. That's one of the silliest things you can possibly do. Because obviously, if you don't eat prior to drinking, it can cause a lot of issues. So just drink responsibly. I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't rip a menthol mint like 2 hours ago, because I did. It's my weekly thing. So do it, have fun, but just be smart about it. Number 9, so this is a whole rabbit hole I could go down. I'm almost done, I promise. But
no rush. Take your time. This is fruitful information.
I
So
love fruit and you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yep.
you. Appreciate it. So this is a big one. It's just psychology. So obviously I'm a psych minor. I'm dating somebody who is very into this as well, and we both have a lot of little gems we could share with you. But here are my big 3 in terms of behavior change techniques when it comes to dieting and nutrition and all that. So positive self-talk is huge. Don't become a self-fulfilling prophecy, which basically means like if you tell yourself, oh, I'm the worst, or oh, I'm gonna fail my lift today, or like I'm gonna go off on the weekend, like, and it's probably gonna happen. So if you tell yourself positive things, that's more likely to come true. So you gotta like just constantly remind yourself you can do what you want to do. You just have to believe in yourself and like follow through. One that I really like is countering. So if you find yourself like saying something self-deprecating, like, oh my God, I'm so fat, or oh my God, I haven't lost any weight, replace it with something positive. So like about the little wins that I was talking about, like, you know what, I added 5 pounds to my trap bar this week, even though the number on the scale hasn't moved. Or you know what, I drank more water than I did last week. So take something negative, replace it with something positive, and that can go a long way. And number 3 is substitution. So try to swap out like one unhealthy snack for something better. So like the example I used was eating carrots instead of eating chips for your midday snack. So again, I'd be happy to elaborate at the end, but these are my big 3. And number 10,
let's go.
look at this one. Wow.
Classic.
I just want to say, Joanna, you look awesome. Not that you didn't look great then, but you've come a long way since then.
Look at Shauna.
Oh my girl. She's gone so ghost.
Can we talk about Neil for a second? Neil's really done quite a transformation since that picture, I feel like.
I agree.
Yeah,
And
I
said the
agree.
same
I
thing.
agree.
I've
But
said that in
also-
front of like the whole group, and I didn't mean to make him uncomfortable, but we are proud of you, Mr. Neil. Very proud. And all of you. And Mary looks so nice in that color right there. So I said that too. All right. Anyway, one of the most important tips is to surround yourself with good people that aren't going to pressure you to do bad things. Accountability is key. So obviously, I've been your accountability coach for years now, which is crazy, but you can still reach out to me anytime. Heart emoji, XOXOXO.
Keep it dry there, Kelsey. Look like you're tearing up.
No, I'm driving now. I'm gonna cry on Saturday, but I ain't crying right now. And so here are just key takeaways from this. Drink your water, obviously. Eat your veggies. They're gonna keep you full. They're gonna give you vitamins and minerals. And if you do that, you're not really gonna need all those vitamin supplements. Protein at every meal. Lean protein. Complex carbs. Remember your whole grains as opposed to your simple sugars that are gonna raise your blood sugar. Exercise roughly 3 times a week. Sleep with like 9 E's right there. I know I'm a hypocrite too, because life gets busy, but just take care of your sleep. It will go a long way. Serving sizes are huge, so read labels before you purchase something. Read the ingredients. This doesn't mean you have to count calories, but just be aware of what you're eating. And celebrate your wins, just like I said. You guys are going to love this last slide. I'm proud of it. Oh, not this one. This is one I thought, but I did make this meme for you guys. SpongeBob mocking meme, reminding you that health is not a marathon. Oh, my bad. Health is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So little wins along the way will help you get to where you want to be. Where did my mouse go? Oh, there it went. This is it. Oh my God, look at her.
Oh,
Look at her.
Susan!
Isn't she
Woo-wee! She's not even here. Damn it.
I know, but dude, look at her go. So be like Susan, lift weights.
Awesome.
You're gonna have to show that to her.
Oh, I did. I wasn't a creeper and just put this
Oh.
in showing her like right after I took it, I was like, she's like, Danielle, remember how I took a picture of your back?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and Liz too. And I'm like, you guys are yoked. So celebrate you guys. So
Yeah.
there's my new email. If you want to email me, or there's my phone number, because I won't be on the Velocity line anymore. But I'm here for you. Hey, Chloe, if you. But I hope that was helpful, and I'm now open to any questions at all if people have anything, because I know I threw a lot at you right there.
Be like Susan. Love it.
All right, I do have a question.
Hit me.
All right, so is it the casein or whatever you said, the
Yeah.
supplement that's good to take before bed? Is that just like you buy it like a creatine and you add
Yeah.
it to something, or is it like a tablet?
I mean, I think you can get tablets, but your body probably absorbs it better if you have it with food.
Okay.
Like I said, I put it with yogurt, because yogurt before bed, just the sidebar, is really good for you because it's got probiotics and actually some minerals to help calm you down to go to bed. So I mix it with my yogurt every night, and it's my favorite.
And do you have a brand that you like?
Yeah, I literally just bought bulk supplements on Amazon. There are no ingredients at all. It's unflavored.
Okay.
So all it does is make your yogurt a little chalkier, I guess you could. I mean,
Okay.
not really chalky. I throw cinnamon in it too, and it's perfect to have before bed.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? Danielle, calling on you.
Big thanks for putting this together for us.
Big thanks for joining, everybody.
Yeah.
No other questions at all about how much you should eat in a day, or where you can find that, or tracking apps or anything like that?
Nope.
No.
No.
All right, I'm gonna stop staring at my screen. Show you my face again.
So would you say it's a casein powder and you got it on Amazon? There's no name brand or anything?
I mean, there's a bunch of different ones you can get. You can get flavored, just like you can get flavored whey.
So they're all basically
Okay.
little ingredients. No, okay. So just
Yeah, I have Quest whey protein. It's peanut butter flavor, but I could also buy bulk supplements, just straight up plain whey protein. Derek's got that. That's what he likes. So
Okay.
yeah. Anything else at all?
Kelsey, do you like you? Yeah, you said you. What is that protein? It's
whey.
no the
Creatine. No, the creatine.
no the brand that you were the Quest.
Quest.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I like Quest a lot.
Okay, I mean I've really enjoyed the bars and the powder, but gets a good thumb up from you. I mean, it's thumbs up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's one potential downside to Quest is that it's got a little bit of sugar alcohol. But it's in like such a little amount that it's not really gonna cause issues for a lot of people. I know Connell says that like he hasn't had good luck with Quest. It reacts with people in different ways, but I've never had an issue, and I have a super sensitive stomach. So
I totally get what you mean, kind of, because there are times it kind of has like like I don't feel sick, but
yeah. So
It's
again,
really
like
funky.
sugar alcohols in moderation, like
Yeah.
aren't really like suggested to have any like long-term impacts, but some people might respond differently.
Okay.
But I love Quest. Quest is my favorite personally. What do you guys like?
I actually struggled for a really long time to find a protein that cooperated with my stomach, whereas like, some would give me gas, some would, just make me feel bloated. So I actually really like the Dynamitize Whey Isolate protein.
Ooh.
And it comes in like a cinnamon. They sell it at Nutrition Lab in Walpole.
That exists.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, Nutrition Lab in Walpole. It's like $50 for the case. I mean, for the tub. And that's really the only thing that like taste wise and, how it affected my body wise that really worked for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some food where you can find creatine?
Foods that have creatine? Typically like meats. So,
What?
like red meats can have creatine.
Oh,
and-
meats. All right.
Yeah, meats. And like your body produces it on its own, but in very like little amounts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the purpose of taking creatine is like creatine gives you energy, like it releases something in the body like while you're working out, give you energy if you're like lifting something heavy. And so like taking the supplements, it just like it decreases that time that it takes to make the energy. So, but if you do take creatine, the only like side effect for some people is weight gain. But I have not gained a single like it has not made me gain weight.
Yeah, I haven't had any.
Yeah, it's like so what I do 2.5 milligrams in the morning, in my like just in water, and then 2.5 at night, either in water or like mixed in my yogurt. I've never had a problem.
Right, but would it make a difference because you lift like heavy weights?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird to find a powerlifter not on creatine. But it's safe and effective. I know Boss Man takes it. I know Jesse takes it. Like,
Kelsey, isn't there some recent research around benefits of women in osteoporosis and some other things that just
Yeah,
like,
bone density.
Yes.
bone density. So there's a lot of
Absolutely.
benefits if you just Google some good credible research around kind of helpful for females as they hit middle age.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's not like a way where it like makes you like bulk up and like, build muscle per se, but it increases your strength and it can have like other good benefits in the body. But
Love that.
good questions. I did my my college capstone on creatine, so
Nice.
good stuff. Yeah.
Hey, just one thing about that Quest stuff. I mean, the reason why I fell into that is I loved the 1 gram of sugar element versus, think of so many of those bars that you think are good for you and there's 18 grams of sugar in them or more,
That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not perfect. I mean, I get it, so I mean, for me, I use the bars kind of like to bridge me if I'm going to be a period of time. Like, I mean, I don't like to do it all the time, but
Yeah.
like if I got to get between noon and 6 o'clock without a lot, I mean, that it does fill you up. There's something, that's why I think it's funky for the stomach, kind of all of a sudden it feels
Yes.
like, which is, I get it. It's
Yeah.
a little funky. So, I mean, I don't do it every day.
Yeah.
I I do actually. I do it every single day.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're between 180 and 200 calories. They have 20 to 21 grams of protein, 2 grams of sugar alcohols. This is just off my brain. I'm like a nutrition label right here. But it fills me up. It's my midday snack, so I usually do it either before or after a workout. And I mean, on Tuesdays where I coach for 5 hours straight, like I have to eat a Quest bar. And I'm sorry, and I'm not. But it's a good pick me up is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, the Quest bars I don't have a problem with either. Like they don't mess up my stomach at all. So I'm a huge fan of that's like the only protein bar that I'll use.
One bars are really similar, like composition wise, with like the protein, like 10 or 20 more calories, so it's like it's negligible. But they even have fewer sugar alcohols in Quest, so they're really good. Yeah.
And I definitely rely on the RX bars. I know everyone's not a big fan of those, but
I love those.
I do.
Liz. I love those.
Yeah, they're just with my crazy work schedule. Sometimes it's like same thing like what Neil was saying. It's like if I'm going to be starving and I don't have anything to eat, then I can eat one of those, and at least I know I'm putting something of nutritional value into my body.
Those are great. They have only like 12 grams of protein, if I'm getting that right. They make me violently ill. So again, it's whatever works for you. But there's like 5 or 6 ingredients in RX bars. It's like eggs and dates, and it's like nothing bad at all. So those are
nuts. Yeah.
Anything
else?
else?
Can you explain, like, when you were talking about sugar alcohol, is that what you were calling that, or what can you differentiate a little bit? Like when I'm looking at the label and I see 1 gram of sugar, and I have what is the sugar alcohol, and
That's a really good question. So basically, it's just like glucose in a different form. So it's like glucose is sugar. So sugar alcohols are just kind of processed by your body in a different way. So it's not, again, not necessarily like that bad for you. But you know how like an excess of sugar can cause weight gain and extra calories and stuff like that. So it's lower in calories, but it's still like a variation of glucose, if that makes sense.
Kelsey, let me ask
is it a little misleading that they have like 1 gram of sugar, but then have the sugar alcohol as a separate listing?
A little bit, but if you look at it, there's only like 2 grams of sugar alcohol. I think it's not like so significant, but some products it's like there's a lot. Like straight up artificial sweeteners, like they're gonna be a lot higher in sugar alcohols as opposed to like a Quest bar. But if you have a bar that's like it's got that much protein and that like low in calories, it's almost impossible to find like some without any sugar alcohols, because I'm a health nut and I'm not overly concerned with that at all, if that means anything.
Yes, thank you.
Of course. What's up, boss man?
Yeah, another thing that you see net carbs. So it says net carbs of 3. And I think the idea is that they're saying some carbs don't raise your sugar level. But I find that always tricky and a little bit deceiving when, if you look, I think even Quest bars does it. They quote net carbs versus total carbs. So Kelsey, I'm not sure exactly what the difference is or how they're making that distinction. I don't know if you know.
Net carbs. I think that's just like, so like sugar alcohols I don't think are incorporated in the like total carbs.
Right, so I think that's the way they get around Neil's point, is to make it look like this is a low carb. Because I think the theory being is that the sugar alcohol doesn't raise your insulin level as much as other carbs do. Don't know whether that's true or not, but just something I always watch out for when I hear net carbs. So if you're tracking things, carbs are, in my mind, carbs are carbs, and it's just easy, but just something to watch out for.
I thought that net carbs was when you take out the dietary fiber that's within the carbs section.
Actually, she's totally right.
Good.
I liked on that. She's completely
right. It can say like 20 total carbs, and then it says 5 of them are dietary fiber, then you have 15 net carbs.
So the question would be, why is that better?
Well, because they're saying that dietary fiber, it's good, right? You shouldn't count it if you're counting carbs. You shouldn't count that as a bad carb because it's good. It's fiber. That's what you're getting. So that's why they want to count just the net carbs. If you are counting, like, I don't know how many carbs you should have a day, but just count the actual, not the fiber as a bad thing, but as a good thing. So they just discounted it. If you are just adding
Kind of
up
like good cholesterol and
carbs.
bad cholesterol.
No, I mean,
Essentially.
fiber's a carb too, as whole grains are a carb. None of them
Yeah.
are bad.
Fiber
necessarily.
just it can't be like digested as much, but you need like I didn't include that in the presentation, but you should get roughly 25 grams of fiber a day, and the carb. I can't give you a general recommendation because it's so different for everybody, but you need fiber, and you get it in your whole greens and all that good jazz. But yeah. Any other questions? No? Liz, looks like you
No,
got
you were very
fiber.
thorough.
What'd you say?
What's that? I said, no, you were very thorough.
I'm glad. I hope it wasn't too thorough.
No.
Yeah. Who's coming in tomorrow? Awesome. All right. Come
Tomorrow
in
night.
as you can this week, obviously. But no cheers before Saturday. We all promise, right? Boom. Boom.
Thank you, promise.
Thank you guys all for coming, and I will figure out a way to post this in the chat. So
Thank you, Kelsey.
appreciate
Thanks, Kelsey.
Have a good
Bye,
night.
friends.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Have a good night.